Ah, yes, the story of my outro. The same one I've been using for almost 5 years. It goes all the way back to January of 2019. Allow me to tell you about how I made it. First, let's talk about the foundation. Back when I first started streaming, it was early 2019. Smash Bros. Ultimate was very fresh for many of us. And after my playthrough of Ocarina of Time, it only made it even more concrete. And after playing a few rounds in the Gerudo Valley map, I fell in love with the remix. So once I decided to make an outro for my videos, I was like, what's a catchy song that you like, Jacek? And I looked straight towards Gerudo Valley. My first outro was released on February 5th, 2019, 2 weeks after my Ocarina of Time playthrough. Here's what it sounded and looked like. Notice how it's very basic editing, and there's not really much to it. This is still back when I was on YouTube, and I didn't really recall who was following me or any other weird statistics like that are on Twitch. So it's very basic, very slow, and there was a lot of wasted space. On April 22nd, 2019, I started moving over to Twitch instead of YouTube for my live streams. As a result, I was now able to get more granular info on who was following me, as well as a bunch of other things. And I quickly gained affiliate a month later, in May 20th, 2019. Due to all this new info, it was time to make a second revision to the outro. Version 2 had a lot more stuff in it, and was used on May and June 2019. Take a look. Now I actually use the wasted space that I had in version 1. However, this also caused another problem. The follower list was only 1 wide. This caused a massive issue where no one was able to read the follower list because of how fast it scrolled. The next version fixed that. Version 3 shifted the logo up a few pixels, allowing more room underneath for more subscribers and followers to be seen. Here's what that looked like. Looks pretty good so far, huh? Well, I'd agree with you, but there's 2 whole measures of the song with empty space in it. Well, I say empty space, but basically wasted space. The credits to the outro music is kind of dumb, so I removed that in version 4, and replaced it with the Donations and Patreon tab. In fact, let me show you version 4. Now version 4 and 5 looked basically the same. I just removed a couple things in the video editor itself to help boost render times. Otherwise, they are basically the exact same outro. Hence why I skipped version 5 here. Version 6, on the other hand, helped bring it up to modernity by speeding up and pushing up the logo speed at the beginning, It gave me more space to work with for displaying followers and subs. It also gave the Patreon and donators more screen time, which honestly felt fair in my opinion. And most importantly, it got rid of that stupid but most importantly thing that was like very stupid, and honestly I didn't like it. I thought it was very cringe. Anyways, here's version 6. To those with a keen eye, version 6 also had an updated logo. It was at double the res of the original one. If you notice carefully on the Master Sword of the logo, you'll notice it's a bit pixelated on previous versions. Additionally, there was now a 3/4 second offset at the beginning of the outro. This was used for editing and highlights on Twitch, to make it easier, as Twitch highlights are rounded to the nearest second, and having a 3/4 second buffer almost guaranteed that I'd hit that 1 second roundup. Version 7 I like to call the freeze update. The reason I call it that is because it freezes the follower list and truncates it to only the latest followers. This prevents it from moving, which takes up more render time, and it makes it more updated and easier to maintain. The fact the followers list no longer moves saved about 40% of the render time alone. Anyways, take a look at version 7. The changes from version 7 to 8 were quite minimal. The only real thing that changed was having the followers in an extra measure of the song, and as a result, the Patreon tab being moved back 1 measure. Due to only one person ever getting the Mad Lad role from Patreon, I decided to axe it from version 9, and thus clean up version 9 a little bit more, but it also leaves a lot of open space at the end, so there might be a version 10 in the near future. Who knows?